Hi guys, and welcome to another 7-minute lecture. What is the God equation and can we solve it? That's our question today. Before I start, let me just say that anybody interested in this should read Dr. Michio Kaku's latest book, The God Equation, where he goes in depth and explains all of this far better than I ever could. I just find this topic fascinating, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So what is this God equation? Simply put, the God equation is a theory that would explain how the universe works in one simple equation. Einstein spent the last 30 years of his life working on this, and even he couldn't come up with an answer, although he fervently believed that there was one. It's a theory that can explain the fundamental forces of physics: gravitational force, electromagnetic force, and nuclear force. While we currently have theories that explain these things individually, we have nothing to explain all of it in one coherent equation. Einstein called it an equation that would allow us to, in his own words, read the mind of God. Because if we were able to explain all of this with one equation, we could unlock most of the secrets of the universe. Stephen Hawking and others famously also called it the theory of everything. Let's go through these forces one by one to give us ourselves a deeper understanding of why this is important. First, gravitational force. When Isaac Newton developed a theory to explain gravitational force in 1687, that turned out to be instrumental for the Industrial Revolution almost a century later, because most of the machinery had been built on the basis of Newton's laws. He changed our understanding of the entire universe because he showed us with that theory that the earth was governed by the same mechanical principles as the celestial bodies, which was a radical departure from famous Western astronomers like Copernicus and Galileo. His equation led people to mechanize human activity on a large scale, and it changed history. Second, electromagnetic force. This was discovered by Michael Faraday in 1831 and then expanded by James Maxwell in 1873, which gave us an understanding that electricity and magnetism were not two different forces. They were one unified force, and this once again revolutionized the world because now we knew how light functioned, we knew how to use electricity to generate power, we understood how radio waves work, and in the wake of this equation came the light bulb, electric generators. I guess what we now call the age of electricity in the 19th century was ushered in because of this understanding. And even this interaction between you and I is directly possible only because of the theory of electromagnetic force. And finally, nuclear force. Einstein developed the famous, or infamous rather, E equals mc square, which explained nuclear force. It completely reshaped our understanding of the universe and physics once again, because for the first time we were able to equate the mass of an object, not the weight, the mass of an object with its energy. And this ushered in the nuclear age, which still to a large extent dominates mainstream physics and has revolutionized the world. So these are the basic forces of the universe: gravitational force, electromagnetic force, and nuclear force, both a weak and strong nuclear force. And the God equation is something that will unify all this into one simple mathematical equation, kind of like what E equals mc square did with nuclear force, except this should do so with all of them. Einstein said it shouldn't be more than an inch long, so it has to be a simple, clear theory. So what's stopping us from being able to come up with this equation? It's not just lack of knowledge, it's this thing I'm sure most of us would have already heard of: quantum physics. Don't worry, I'm not going to go into quantum physics here. The only thing I'll say is that it essentially defies many of the established laws of physics, which we call the standard model. So the more we start discovering about the nature of really tiny particles, the more we realize that these things don't obey what we consider to be the laws of the universe. The tinier we go, the laws of physics simply change, and we don't have anything to explain why or how any of this happens. You could have a particle that you move up and down where you are, and 100 miles away, the other corresponding particle moves up and down as well. It blows our mind, and we have no idea how any of this happens. The other challenge, and what I'm about to say now is not in Michio Kaku's book. This is simply me trying to act like a theoretical physicist. So take it with a pinch of salt. The other challenge is that we have no idea that these are the only forces of the universe. The major flaw in this whole hunt for a God equation, from my perspective as a complete layman, is that all of these scientists, including Einstein, seem to be taking for granted that these are the only forces, and that we have a unifying theory for the three of them, and we can suddenly unlock the universe's secrets. But what if there's a lot more we haven't discovered? What if there's a lot more we can't perceive, either because of the limitation of human senses or because of the limitations of 21st century machines? 100 years from now, someone might discover a totally new force that ushers in a new age of technology. So unifying all these forces that we know about right now under one equation might turn out to be impossible, because we only have a few pieces of the puzzle so far. And no matter how hard we try, there will always be holes in the overall jigsaw puzzle, because so many pieces are missing. If it's true, though, that what we have right now are the only forces, then the God equation would certainly be something which elevates human beings into proper science fiction territory. We would be able to build time machines, travel through wormholes, visit alternate dimensions, unlock the multiverse, travel faster than light to visit distant galaxies, because all of these things are theoretically possible given the current laws of physics. We're just missing that simple equation or theory, that E equals mc squared type encapsulation, which allows us to start doing things with that theoretical knowledge. Einstein, as I mentioned earlier, spent 30 years chasing this dream, and we now have an entirely new generation of scientists chasing it after him. Will they succeed? Nobody knows yet, but it would be pretty cool if they do. So that's it, guys. I hope you found that interesting. If you like content like this, please don't forget to share and subscribe. Thank you, take care, and I'll see you soon.